is Jordan. I would like to talk to you today about being gay and being Wiccan. Now, I grew up in a Christian home, and in that Christian home, being gay wasn't being accepted. I couldn't tell my grandparents, yes, I lived with my grandparents, not my actual parents, but I couldn't tell them that I was gay, even though I have known for a very long time. I couldn't tell them, hey, I like women. It was just something you didn't say. I didn't know anyone that was gay. I didn't know anyone who had been through these experiences I had been through, and it was very dark and depressing when I was a Christian. I always felt like I had to ask for forgiveness. I had to ask God to forgive me for everything I've ever done in my whole entire life. I felt guilty all the time. I felt like I wasn't happy. I felt like I wasn't ever going to be accepted by anyone in my family. I felt like I would never be loved again. When I was probably about 14 or 15 years old, I had decided, okay, I'm going to ask for forgiveness one more time. I'm going to ask Jesus to stop these thoughts that I always had, stop the emotions I had towards women, make it all go away. Just make it stop. Because I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help anything. I couldn't help watching the TV and seeing a woman be like, oh my god, she's really pretty. I would love to kiss her. I would love to, hug her. All that stuff. And I finally said, okay, this is the last time. Someone needs to help me. I obviously can't do this alone. So I prayed, and I thought, okay, I need to give it time. I need to give Jesus time to help me. So I waited. Once I waited, nothing ever stopped. Nothing ever went away. I know now that maybe if I would have put a little bit more effort into it, I would have not have been gay. I would have, accepted everything that Christians want you to accept and not be, homosexual, not be different. Don't do anything weird. So I waited, and that never went away. And my faith went out the window. I felt guilty. I couldn't stop. So I decided Jesus obviously isn't there for me in my time of need. I need to find something different. So of course, what does a rebellious teenager do that just realized God is a fraud? What do? Well, when you're just straight out of Christianity in a small town of Texas, the first thing you do for me was to go to Satanism. I know. And, well, Satanism is not my thing. Not my thing, bro. I don't like it. And, well, one of my friends, I'm gonna name her B. B was a Wiccan. I knew several of my friends were, or at least pagan, under the umbrella of their terms. And so I started talking to them, and they started letting me in on some of their groups and some of the things that they did, some knowledge of some things. And not very long after that, I started joining. I started doing a lot of different things, not knowing all the rules. You need to know your rules. That's what I have to say about that. But I was at the very, very fluff bunny stage of everything. And it was very eye-opening once I realized what Wicca was, and it was so much different. It felt more accepting, not at the beginning, but I felt like I could do more. I felt like I was free. I didn't have that with any other religion I'd ever tried before. So, I got really deep into that. Like I said, still fluff bunny stage. And by the time I was 18 and I was out of, you know, high school and everything, I had a very, very tough life with my grandparents. A lot of things happened that I'd rather not talk about on here. But I wasn't allowed to leave my house at all. I didn't have a license at 18. I didn't have a job at 18. I didn't have anything. But I did have one thing. I had my phone and I had my girlfriend. She was not allowed to see me. I was not allowed to see her. It was very difficult. We had to sneak around a lot. Not like getting to see each other, but just to talk to each other. We never got to see each other. And then I came up with the bright idea of, hey, we should just run away. We should just get up, run away, be done with it. And we did. For one night. We had to go back the next day. She was 17, I was 18, so, you know, kidnapping kind of thing, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. I'm sure that's what her mom would have tried to pull, so we just went back. And after that, I think it opened up our parents' eyes of we weren't going to give up, we weren't going to stop seeing each other. And so they were like, okay, we're going to let you be together. And it was about a year later that, you know, I started getting really tired of everything else, and I stopped doing Wicca and stuff like that. But then I got back into it, and I started getting my own books. I started doing my own thing, not what my friends were telling me. I didn't use the information they told me. I started my own thing, and I realized that it wasn't this fluff bunny thing that everybody was trying to say it was. It was very deep, it's very spiritual, and I really loved it. I got really deep into, you know, not spells, but just everything else. I got out of my grandparents' house. Me and my girlfriend are now living in this 2-bedroom apartment with roommates, but we're about to be moving back into my house. One of my grandparents has died. The other is in a nursing home. So we are going to be moving back into my house. But we will have that at least, and I will have all the room that I need to do my thing. I know I've rambled, but let me say this. Being gay and being Wiccan was very hard at the beginning because I thought when I first learned it was male, female entities. Both as one, both different. There was always a masculine, there was always a female, or feminine I should say. I always thought, okay, there's a lot of heterosexuality going on here, you know, nature needs both. And I'd never, I know, you know, heterosexuals have children, but as a lesbian, I was like, this isn't quite fitting. Since I've had the mess up with Christianity, certain things that happened with my grandfather, I didn't respect men. I didn't. And I thought, this is not for me. Now, yes, I will call myself a feminist, but I agree that now, not all men are the way that media wants to portray them to be. And even though I'm still one-sided of Wicca, it's not that I don't respect people that worship both. I just, me personally, and I feel like that's what Wicca is, it is personal, that you get to choose. And for me, the Dianic Wicca is what's good for me. I'm not saying that there's not a God, whether it is any kind of God of any religion. This is personal to me. I believe all religion should be personal. I do not feel like it should be something that so-and-so says that this needs to be this way and all the rest of the world needs to believe this, because I don't believe that's true. I just don't. I agree that it should be personal. It's personal for me, it should be personal for Bob, it should be personal for everybody. For me, Dianic Wicca is what is good for me. I am a feminist, I am a lesbian, so for me it makes sense for Dianic Wicca, but I know what you're going to say, feminism is about equality, and then I should worship both, but like I said, it's what's personal for me. I've always loved feminine figures. I've always loved, me and my mom are very close now, but my grandmother on my mom's side was a Wiccan, so all of my life, my female characters or my female role models have been just that, my role models. They're who I looked up to. I never looked up to a man. Never. Not really. Except Ian McKellen, but that's another story. But that's just what I've always gone with. So that's why I'm Dianic Wiccan. But it's very interesting to be gay and to be Wiccan. On several pages on Facebook, let me just say this, that have said something about hand fasting. I'm like, well, does that work for, gay people, or gay couples, or, couples of different genders, things like that. And everyone has been so accepting, saying, yes, it works for everyone. We do not discriminate. We have no problem with you. We're fine. Wicca is about feeling what's right for you, doing what's right for you, and I feel like people of other religions should actually think about that. I think it should be less about, hey, let's make everyone believe one thing, and more about what is good for me. What is good for me? What is good for my family? What, things like that. People don't like to think about that because they want to think, organized religion. Not me. It's just not my thing. But I'm happy with Wicca. I feel like every gay person I talk to who is a Wiccan, they're like, this is the greatest thing ever. We're all one person, they don't treat us different than the other person. It's fun. It's a great community. Everybody, we might have different beliefs, but we all believe simultaneously in the same thing. Nature, just Earth, whatever it is, whatever entity, universe, God is God, whatever, we all believe in one thing. It all equates to one thing. And yeah, so that's my thoughts on being gay and being Wiccan. I know I rambled a lot, but this is my first video, and I will be putting more up, so like this if you find it. If you don't, that's okay. Everyone has their opinion.